What is EBITDA when you are seeking to sell your business? Whether you're seeking to sell your business, buy a business, or whether you just want to find out what EBITDA is, this video is for you. So EBITDA is certain terminology which is used in finance to get to a particular profit figure when you're in business. EBITDA is an acronym which is made up of letters which spell out exactly what you're looking at on your P&L to work out what the EBITDA is. So EBITDA stands for earnings before interest, tax, depreciation, and amortization. That's earnings before interest, tax, depreciation, and amortization. That's why you get the acronym EBITDA. Now, earnings. What is earnings? Earnings is another word in this acronym for net profit. So earnings is net profit when you are talking about EBITDA. So every business has a net profit that you have, and that's your starting point when you're looking to understand what your EBITDA is. So you get your EBITDA, and then the B for before means now you need to add back certain elements to your net profit to get to the EBITDA figure. So before essentially means is a plus sign. Before means adding back on. So what's the first thing that you add back on? So a business may be paying interest on certain elements. For example, if they have an overdraft or a line of credit, or if you've got debt within the business, then you have an interest cost of that payment, interest element of that payment, and that will be shown on the on the profit and loss statement. So on the P&L, you'll have your interest, and that whatever that interest is on that P&L, that will be added back to your net profit, to your earnings figure. So now you have your net profit, and the first thing you must add back to that is the interest that you have paid for that year on the business. So the interest has now been added back. The next part of the equation is tax. And the tax here is referred to tax on profits. It's corporation tax. So you get your corporation tax that you've paid for that year, and you add that on to the net profit. And of course, you've already added on the interest there. So now you add back the tax on top of that. So whatever tax you've paid on profits for that year gets added back to net profit and the interest that you've already added back to take you further towards the EBITDA equation. The next letter in the acronym is depreciation. So depreciation, if you don't know what depreciation is essentially the loss of value of your tangible assets. So every business or most businesses has tangible assets, whether that's as little as a laptop all the way to plant and machinery and factory and fixtures and fittings and everything like that. Of course, then there's a depreciation of that. For example, if you buy something, a piece of machinery for 100,000, that is going to have wear and tear over time. That is going to need to be repaired and replaced over time, and that is where the depreciation element comes onto the P&L. All of this is available on your P&L. So you'll have a line that says depreciation, and that depreciation figure gets added back. Now, I'm a business owner and also a M&A advisor, so of course, when I look at the overall element of depreciation, I don't personally think that depreciation should be added back when you're valuing businesses, but of course, my clients and everyone that sells businesses benefits from that. So that depreciation is added back. And the last letter in the acronym is amortization. So what is amortization? Amortization is essentially it's depreciation of intangible assets. So some businesses have intangible assets on their balance sheet and some businesses don't have intangible assets on their balance sheet. So if you do have intangible assets on your balance sheet, the amortization is essentially the depreciation of, or more specifically, more accurately, the amortization of intangible assets which sit on your balance sheet. So that also depreciates over time. There's certain elements or types of properties which have intangible asset value on them, and there's also certain events, for example, that a business may go through that creates intangible assets on the balance sheet. This video is obviously not long enough, and we don't need to go into the detail of why that may happen. But if you have amortization on your P&L, that also gets added back. So up until this point, what we've done, and by the way, we're going to head over to the board in a minute to give an example of all of this together with some numbers. But what you've done is you got a net profit figure, and you've added back interest, and you've added back the corporation tax, the tax on profit, and you've added back depreciation, and you've added back amortization, and that's how you get to your EBITDA figure. And that's one element of how to work out your EBITDA. There's obviously so much that goes into selling a business. So if you want to find out more on how to sell a business, then click the link in the description and download that checklist. I've also got a link to the coaching as well if you want direct, impactful coaching on how to sell your business and essentially prepare your business for sale so you can get a higher valuation. By the way, EBITDA can be increased. EBITDA can be increased. I've actually got another video called Add Backs or Business Valuations. You can check that out, and you will be able to see how you can increase the EBITDA figure from those elements, other than those elements that have just been mentioned. Anyway, click the link in the description and download that checklist. Let's head over to the board right now to give you an example of EBITDA. So let's get into the example of how to work out your EBITDA as a business owner. So remember we said earnings is the net profit. So let's put this as your net profit for your business is 500,000. And again, these are made up figures, so don't hold me to the calculations in terms of, oh, this is how much corporation tax should be and this is how much interest should be. I don't care about that. It's about, let's look at what this would be. So net profit here is 500,000. First thing you're going to add back is your interest. So you get to your interest figure. So let's say you have interest of your business. Let's say you're paying around about 50,000. Let's make the numbers easy, really easy. Yes. So 50,000 in interest. By the way, if you're paying 50,000 in interest, number one, you've got way too many costs. So you need to bring that down. So interest cost is 50,000. So far, what I'll do is I'll put an equals figure here. So far, we've got 550,000. So where your net profit was 500, it's now towards the EBITDA figure. You've just increased it by 50,000 there. So it's 550,000. The next one is your tax. So let's take your tax, and let's say your tax is 100,000. So you've got 100,000 in tax. So add there. So you've got 500,000 plus 50,000 plus 100,000 in corporation tax, tax on profits. So now your equals at 650,000. So this is why when business owners, you need to get the correct advice when you are looking to sell your business. It's completely different to just taking your net profit. Because if you had sold your business just on net profit, then you would only be at 500,000, but already you've gone to 650,000, increasing the amount that you can get for your business, or working out your EBITDA anyway. The next is depreciation. So D, we'll just put DEP, depreciation. So let's say your depreciation is 50,000 for argument's sake. So 50,000, so add that back on. So now you have 650, 700 in towards that EBITDA figure. And we haven't got that there yet. And remember I said that not every single business has amortization, but let's say that your business does have amortization. There has intangible assets which is being depreciated over time or amortized over time. Then we will take the amortization in this example to be 50,000 as well. Yeah, so now what you have, you're left with your EBITDA. So your EBITDA is 750,000. So whether that's pounds or dollars, it doesn't matter, or euros. What's the sign for euros? I think it's like this E or something, isn't it? Forgive me, you guys in Europe, basically whatever the Europes are, Ireland, wherever you are. So 750,000. Now, where you thought that the profit figure that you're going to be using, and remember, you're selling a business, this is having a massive impact on what you can achieve on your business sale. You thought that you're working off a figure of 500,000. You're not working off a figure of 500,000. You're working off a figure of 750,000. And that's why getting the correct advice and understanding what EBITDA is and the various elements of what goes into a business sale is so important. If you didn't get the correct advice, if you didn't click on this video and watch this video about business sales and EBITDA, you would have left 250,000 on the table as a starting point. Remember, this is just a starting point. This is not even valuations. This is only EBITDA. And of course, if you're looking to buy a business, then this is the kind of calculation that you'll be using too. you're looking to sell a business, this is the calculation that we're using on your business when you're looking to identify what your EBITDA, what your starting point is when you are going to sell your business. So if you want to find out more, of course, click the link in the description checklist, or you can get the coaching in which you can get in-depth advice on all areas of your business sale, how to prepare your business for sale. Remember, 750, this can be increased as well. There's elements of this that can be increased just from your P&L. So this is all taken from your P&L, from your profit and loss statement. All of this is taken from your P&L. And there's other elements that could be on your P&L which can actually increase your EBITDA figure, increase this figure. And if it can, then you're losing money. You're leaving money on the table if you're not getting the correct advice. So again, click the link in the description and I'll see you there. If not, no problem. And I hope this video has been helpful. I'll see you in another video.